Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS, presenting to you the daily quiz for 21st of July 2021. Let us begin and have a look at the first question for today. Which of the given statements with respect to Asian Development Bank is or are correct? Asian Development Outlook is an annual publication of ADB. Under its voting system, each member nation has a single vote irrespective of its capital subscriptions. The bank admits the members of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific and non-regional developed countries. Why this question? This article in the Hindu newspaper today talks about India's economic growth forecast by the Asian Development Bank. This article also makes a mention of the Asian Development Outlook, which is the bank's annual publication. Coming back to the question, statement number 1 is correct because Asian Development Outlook is published by Asian Development Bank annually. This Asian Development Bank is a regional development bank that was established in the year 1966. It is headquartered in Manila in Philippines. Coming to statement number 2, which talks about the voting system followed in the bank. The Asian Development Bank was closely modeled on the lines of World Bank, so it follows a similar weighted voting system as followed by the World Bank. So the voting pattern is such that the votes are distributed in proportion with the members' capital subscriptions. So the second statement becomes wrong. Moving on to the membership. Who can become the members of this bank? At present, ADB has 68 members, out of which 49 are from Asia. The membership to this bank is open to the members of UN-ISCAP, which was formerly known as Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East, or ECAF. Non-regional developed countries can also become members of this bank. The main aim of this bank is reducing poverty in Asia and Pacific. That is why the bank helps the countries through investments in the form of loans or grants or information sharing. The information sharing is in segments such as infrastructure or healthcare services or financial and public administration systems. Here it's important to understand that multilateral as well as regional development banks such as the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and the Asian Development Bank or the New Development Bank of the BRICS are all frequently in news, and it is essential for us to know their membership, their annual publications if any, voting rights and other such related information. Moving on to question number 2. eSanta is an electronic marketplace providing platform connecting the farmers, traders and buyers of GI tagged agricultural produce across the country, connecting aqua farmers and buyers across the country, facilitating grading, packaging, providing logistics support to organic farmers to sell their agricultural produce directly to end customers, or connecting all the existing agricultural produce marketing committee mandis to create a unified national market for agricultural commodities. What is the context? This article in the Hindu newspaper talks about eSanta, which is an online marketplace. eSanta provides a platform for aqua farmers and buyers to connect. eSanta is the acronym for Electronic Solution for Augmenting NACSA Farmers Trade in Aquaculture. This portal is an initiative of the National Center for Sustainable Aquaculture, which is an extension arm of the Marine Products Export Development Authority under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Aquaculture is the farming of fish, crustaceans, aquatic plants, algae and other such aquatic organisms. In aquaculture, the freshwater as well as saltwater populations are cultivated under controlled conditions, and eSanta plays an important role in connecting the buyers and sellers of this aquaculture produce. eSanta also helps in international trade. Exporters can directly purchase quality produce from the farmers, and in turn farmers can avoid middlemen and get better prices for their produce. eSanta can be called as a digital bridge to end the market divide, helping in eliminating middlemen. So the right answer to this question would be option B. eSanta is an electronic marketplace providing a platform connecting aqua farmers to buyers across the country. Moving on to question number 3. Which of the given statements is or are incorrect? Varkari is a religious movement within the Bhakti tradition geographically associated with the Mathura region. Jnandev, Namdev and Tukaram of the Varkari tradition were contemporaries. What is the context? This article from the PIB has a mention of the Varkari movement. Let us understand more about this Varkari movement as we answer this question. Varkari is a religious movement of Hinduism, that is, within the Bhakti spiritual tradition. However, this is associated with the states of Maharashtra and northern Karnataka, whereas Mathura is in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Therefore, statement number 1 would be wrong. Jnandev, Namdev and Tukaram are the saints associated with the Varkari tradition, but they were not contemporaries. Jnandev belonged to the 13th century and is also known as Sant Jnaneshwar. He is regarded as the founder of Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. He is the author of Jnaneshwari or Bhavartha Deepika, which is a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Coming to Namdev, Sant Namdev belonged to the 16th century and Tukaram to 17th century. Sant Tukaram was the contemporary of Shivaji, best known for devotional poetry known as Abhangs. So this statement becomes incorrect. So the right answer to this question would be option C, both 1 and 2, because the question is asking us for incorrect statements. Moving on to question number 4. Johads and Khadins refer to rain-fed storage structures built in Rajasthan, inundation channels developed by people in the floodplains of Bengal to irrigate their fields, traditional floodwater harvesting systems indigenous to South Bihar, community-managed irrigation systems unique to Maharashtra. What is the context? The Chief Minister of Rajasthan has given instructions to start water catchment development works in Rajasthan once the monsoon season is over. In relation to these works, studies will be carried out on rainwater harvesting structures in Rajasthan. The structures that would be studied will be anicuts, check dams, johads and nadis. Such structures help in rainwater harvesting and also recharging of the groundwater levels. Coming back to the question, the right answer to this question would be option A. Johads and Khadins refer to rain-fed storage structures built in Rajasthan. In the arid and semi-arid regions of Rajasthan, agricultural fields were converted into rain-fed storage structures, and these structures would allow the water to stagnate and moisten the soil. Khadins were mostly built in Jaisalmer, whereas Johads were built in other parts of Rajasthan. The traditional floodwater harvesting systems in southern Bihar is Ahar Pines. And the FART system is a community managed irrigation system that is unique to Maharashtra and is operated on 3 rivers in the Tapi basin. Now let us take up a previous year question from Prelims paper 2016. With reference to the initiative called the Economics of Ecosystems and Biodiversity, which of the following statements is or are correct? It is an initiative hosted by UNEP, IMF and World Economic Forum. It is a global initiative that focuses on drawing attention to economic benefits of biodiversity. It presents an approach that can help decision makers recognize, demonstrate and capture the value of ecosystems and biodiversity. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The Economics of Ecosystems and Biodiversity was launched by Germany and EU in the year 2007. Therefore, the first statement becomes incorrect. In the year 2007, G8 plus 5 environment ministers in Germany proposed to develop a global study on the economics of biodiversity loss. Therefore, this study was initiated. This was an international initiative to bring to light the global economic benefits of biodiversity, making statement 2 correct. Here, in relation to TEEB, the third statement is also correct. It did present an approach that helped decision makers to recognize and capture the value of ecosystem and biodiversity. Therefore, the right answer to this question would be option C, 2 and 3 only. Moving on to the fact of the day, which is Paramaparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. This article in the PIB has a mention to this scheme. So what is Paramaparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana? The name of the scheme gives it away. Paramparagat means traditional. Therefore, this scheme is a traditional farming improvement program launched in the year 2015. The PKVY is an extended component of soil health management under the National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. So how is this scheme funded? It is a centrally sponsored scheme and the funding pattern is in the ratio of 60:40 by the central and state governments respectively. In the case of northeastern states as well as the Himalayan states, the central assistance is provided in the ratio of 90:10. So what are the objectives of this scheme? The objective of this scheme is to produce agricultural products that are free from chemicals as well as pesticide residues by adopting eco-friendly, low-cost technologies and traditional farming. It also aims at educating the farmers about latest technologies in the field of organic farming. Talking about the implementation of the scheme is promoted through the adoption of organic village by cluster approach. Let us understand this. Under this scheme, 50 or more farmers will form a cluster of 50 acres land and take up organic farming activities. And every such farmer will be provided rupees 50,000 per acre in 3 years. The produce grown in this land will be pesticide residue free as well as organic. It does not involve the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Coming to the PGS certification in the implementation of this scheme. PGS stands for Participatory Guarantee System. It is a process of certifying organic products that ensures that the production takes place in according to laid down quality standards. So this particular certification will help the produce gain market as organic produce. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching and keep learning.